In Colombia, authorities announced their largest cocaine seizure in a decade. 14 tons were confiscated at the strategic Pacific port of Buenaventura. The news comes amid growing tension with the United States, which has criticized Bogota's anti-drug policies and threatened sanctions. The operation was conducted in Buenaventura, Colombia's key port of the Pacific coast, a known export hub for cocaine. Authorities say the 14 tons were stored inside a warehouse, packed in 50-kilogram sacks and hidden by being camouflaged in a mixture with plaster. Now, according to Colombia's defense ministry, which posted the images on social media, this is the biggest seizure made by the national police in the past 10 years. President Gustavo Petro, whose term ends in 9 months, described the haul as a landmark in his government's anti-narcotics efforts. He had earlier condemned U.S. President Donald Trump's policy of authorizing bombings of suspected drug boats in the Caribbean and Pacific, calling them extrajudicial executions. Colombia remains the world's largest cocaine-producing country. According to United Nations data, the nation had around 253,000 hectares under coca cultivation in recent years, producing at least 2,600 tons of processed cocaine. These figures reflect how entrenched the drug trade remains. Here's how cocaine moves out of Colombia. According to the latest data from the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, there are multiple major trafficking corridors by sea, by air, and via land. Maritime or sea routes are among the most important. From Colombian Pacific ports like Buenaventura, cocaine is shipped northward across the Pacific Ocean. Some of these maritime flows go towards Central America, Mexico, and then onwards to the United States. Other sea routes head through the Caribbean. Containers may transit via Central American nations, islands, or through Mexico before reaching U.S. markets. There are also land routes. Cocaine frequently moves overland via Venezuela or through Central American countries like El Salvador and then into Mexico before finally entering the U.S. border. Trafficking is another key method. Small planes fly from Colombia over Central America or the Caribbean, dropping loads in transit countries or flying directly to markets. Some modern trafficking networks even use semi-submersible vessels, narco submarines, to move large loads across oceans. Traffickers also exploit West African nations as transshipment points for European-bound cocaine. From there, the drug can be sent to Spain, Italy, or other European hubs. Colombia's geographic position with Pacific and Caribbean coastlines gives traffickers multiple pathways to move cocaine north to the U.S., through Central America, or across the Atlantic to Europe, using a mix of maritime, land, and air routes.